Wow, guys, if you've been in the chat for the last couple of games or whatever snippets of gameplay we did get, you'll know we've had a pretty torrid time today with technical issues and all that stuff. We've made some changes now. We've got Ultras in the booth doing the observation. So if the observation is substandard, you know who to blame, who to point your finger at. But hopefully that's going to allow us to have a lot more of a smooth run through in terms of any technical issues we may have. But look, that admin out the way, you know why we're here, guys, by now. It is the Ethereal Crown Qualifier 1. Got a lot of teams on display both today, both tomorrow, and next weekend as well. So there's Overwatch as far as the eye can see in terms of what Cows is putting on. So, as you know by now, my name is Sun Phoenix, and I'm joined here by Hydro. Welcome back.
Hello. Thank you. It's good to be back, and hopefully, this stream goes a bit smoother. I've heard. I didn't see the stream, but I've heard it wasn't the most smoothest. But the switcheroony might help, and I'm hoping it's gonna be a smooth sailing from here.
Look, if we got a report card for the technical standard, it would definitely say room for improvement, and boy, is there a lot of room. So hopefully, as you say, it will be better.
Worst case scenario, we have we can have like a MS Paint or something we pull up real quick, and can give a rough example of what's going on for people.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm sure Overwatch players and people that watch it have a really vast imagination, so maybe it works. You never know. I don't think anyone has tried it. We might have to test it out.
We're going to have to come up with something creative, that's for sure. But guys, this is the Ethereal Crown Qualifier 1. As I said, we've got three groups of 5, all in a round robin format. And by the end of this, we'll have 6 teams qualified for our LAN in October. 8 teams to go to the LAN. That means 2 teams still need to qualify after these 2 weekends. And that's going to be happening in Qualifier 2 in September. We will get our final 2 teams going through a double bracket format qualifier. And that'll leave us with 8 teams for our LAN at ATK Arena in October here in Cape Town, my stomping ground, so to speak. So looking forward to having all of the Overwatch, or as much as the Overwatch community, come down to Cape Town as is possible. But this game, we've got a game before us right now. It is going to be IB taking on Static. Hydro, you're pretty new to the scene. Do you know anything about these 2 teams that we're seeing today?
I've heard a lot about IB. I know they're a very strong team. I know they are. I've played against them. As for that, I don't know much except that they stomp pretty much wherever they go. The elephant calls when they are in the room. They pretty much ruin most teams that I've seen them play against, including our team when we played against them. So I do know they're a strong team. As for Static, I don't know too much. I think it is a newer team and probably a team that's not pretty close to not in the tournaments we've casted so far, and I think they are new to the Causa scene maybe. As I said, I don't know much about them, so it might be something that they have been here and I have not seen, but as far as I know, they're pretty new.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see. It might be a trial by fire for Static here, but we've got the Inglorious Femboys on. Oh, false alarm! Here we go. Static, take a look. No, back to Inglorious.
Back to Inglorious.
Now they were called Inglorious Blasters as of like 15 minutes ago. They have decided to update their name to Inglorious Femboys. We're probably gonna keep calling them Inglorious Blasters throughout the cast rather. But this is their squad. A lot of familiar names here. On Diablo. And the one king on DPS. We've got Zoom as the tank, Atsu and Apricornicus. All of these players will be very familiar if you've watched a lot of Causa broadcasts. On Diablo and Zoom, there is no more iconic duo in Overwatch, I think, than those 2 on these heroes. On Diablo's Tracer is absolutely disgusting, always dominates on that hero, and Zoom on the monkey is a terror in your backline. Atsu and Apricornicus, solid support players as well. And the one king, a new face here as far as we know. I do know that we've got Sterling in the lobby as well, so wouldn't be shocked to see him hop in as well. But we're expecting this team to be fighting near the pointy end of the LAN come October. So I'm expecting this to be pretty dominant as far as performances go from Inglorious Femboys. But why don't you run us through their opponents today?
So for Static, we have Batbrain and Ghosty Panda on the DPS lineup. As far as how good they are, I've not popular scene. I know IB probably getting recognized by most people. And maybe Static is that team in the shadows that comes creeping up and takes them out of the scene. Hopefully,
Mhm.
probably not gonna happen, but we'll see what happens. The animation versing Zoom on tank, and then we have Storm Chappie and Yoda doing the support for their lineup. So very excited to see what they are able to do. It's going to be very interesting match, and I think for people that aren't familiar with this team, this is a good time for this team to show what they can do, to show what
Mhm.
they're made of, and hopefully it's all good. I think it can only go up when you don't have a perspective of a team. What they show you is what you see for the first time, and I
Mhm.
think that's going to be a really good time for them to show what they can do.
Yeah, look, like we say, tribal fire, all that stuff.
Mm.
It doesn't get harder if you're Static from here, right? It only
Yeah,
gets it
no,
only gets easier after this match. You would
after
think.
IB, it's pretty much smooth sailing.
Yeah. So we do have hero bans, but we'll look at our map first. It is going to be our home tick, which is home team, which in this case was IB, and they picked Lijiang Tower, Statica, a map we all know and love.
Yeah,
Sorry,
it's a
Hydro.
very fun map in my opinion, and especially with the favorite picks that we saw there on IB. Obviously they're nice playground for them
Mhm.
to say the least, and with the Monkey and Tracer, I'm excited to see what they can do. I know they are a very disgusting combo, and yeah, it's gonna be very very fun to see what they are able to cook up there.
Interesting set of bans here. So just to remind you guys, if you missed the previous two matches, we have introduced the hero bans here. Rules are pretty similar to I think what you will have seen in other places. Both teams get to pick a ban. If team one picks a tank, the other team has to pick something that isn't a tank, so either a DPS or a support hero. And then in the subsequent maps, the loser will get the first pick, and no team can pick a hero they've already picked before. Now, looking at what we've got here, we've got Mauga from Inglorious Blasters, and Static have gone for the Genji. The Mauga, a very interesting pick, I think.
Yeah, I think I mean, as far as I know, Mauga is one of those characters that lower elo players really don't think is that great. They think it's easy to kill him, and
Mhm.
it is. But once you get to higher ratings, pro plays, then Mauga becomes very strong. So I think IG is just taking the initiative, banning something they don't know against a team they probably don't know
Yeah.
how they're gonna play with it, and they're probably just making sure that their play style is gonna work better when they don't have to play against the Mauga. And I think that's why we're seeing the Mauga ban here. As for the Genji, I don't know if Static maybe knows anything about IG, but that is
Mhm.
the One King's favorite hero as far as I'm concerned, and that is a pretty solid ban, I think. Then
I think
not
I
sure.
think if you know IB, you're probably banning the Winston or the
Or the
Tracer
Tracer, yeah.
or otherwise just a standard meta pick. I
Definitely.
think other teams watching, I think the most telling thing here is actually the Mauga ban from IB. If that's a hero, they're like, we don't know anything. This is a hero we don't want to play against, right? Under any circumstance, if we could choose to not play against a hero, it's going to be this. So that's a very interesting thing for me to see. We are jumping into the map. It is going to be Night Market here up first on Lijiang Tower. Anything interesting here, Hydro, in terms of compositions?
As far as we see, Zoom, is on the Rhine, which is going to be dominating. I know his Rhine is also very, very, very
Yeah.
good. Then we have pretty much the same setup with the with both teams. We see a bit of a dive coming in from Static, but we're gonna see how that works out. Hopefully, it goes a bit into their side. Zoom being very aggressive though,
Oh, they're doing
especially on the boost.
forward here. They're going to try and teleport through. We're not going to use that teleport to actually get onto the point. So interesting decision there, Zoom. Look how far forward he is. And he knows he can get forward because with the on the Tracer for support as well. They're going to be
Big D-Mac.
cleaning up the Static squad now. All blue in the kill feed. All good as far as IB are concerned. As now they get set up onto point. Just the Diva alive. Zoom will drop low here, but not likely to drop down out this fight. So we're full 5-0 it looks like here. IB setting the standard early on.
Yeah, I mean they really quickly cleaned up. I mean, I didn't even have time to talk. That's how quickly they cleaned up, and I mean they just flanked and they just punished them. Static wasn't checking their flank and they just got punished immediately. I don't know how I feel about the Diva versus the Rhine though.
Yeah.
That is a interesting pick. we're gonna see. Maybe they have some plans, but I doubt that will work out pretty well.
Yeah, the traditional counter to
Shatter
Ryan's
already
obviously
coming in. Yeah, big
Oh my
Shatter
God.
absolutely gets 3 of them. And the rest of the team just gets punished.
Yeah, not.
It's just,
Yeah, there it is, big Shatter. As you say,
yeah.
Zoom gets full 360, absolutely cleaning up here. And Atsu, he's the one picking up all the kills, but ultimately that was all set up by Zoom. So a pretty lean fight from IB here, and that's going to allow them to keep, rotating through the ultimates pretty comfortably here.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, IB is a really tough team to play against, and it's really hard to play against one of the strongest teams probably in South Africa. And it is they do prove why they are one of the strongest teams. They punish for mistakes, they take you on aggressively, and they play almost perfectly. It's really fun to see them play.
I almost feel like if you're static here, you kind of need to be a little bit more active with your movements here. They're kind of happy to move into position, set up, poke for a bit, and then try and look for an opening. But I just want to give you an opening. They're happy to stand there and face tank you with this Reinhardt shield and then move forward. Now they can look to get aggressive. Auntie is getting a couple of kills here, but a lot of regular kill feed. They throw in the self-destruct now. Zoom trying to get aggressive, but won't get the kill onto the baby diva. So that's going to be good for them. But Zoom picks up 2 with the fire strikes here. The lone man here, an army unto himself here. He's got the one king for backup on the echo, but they're not going to find the diva kill. Who's still alive here for Static? I'm not sure, but they're losing players left, right, and center now. And when it's all said and done, a decent team fight from Static, but not enough to take the point back.
I mean, I do feel sorry for them. It is a bit hard when you, even in an unfamiliar space, you can be as good as you are, but when it's a, Inglorious Bastards, it's their, or Inglorious Femboys, sorry, when it's their home, it's like their home ground playing here. It's like they feel at home, they feel ready, they feel like, this is their place, this is their home, this is their turf. And when you're playing against a team that's confident, that's very comfortable where they're playing, you do get a bit of a harder matchup, even if you are good. So, Static obviously being a bit cautious, being a bit newer to the scene, they're gonna struggle against this team, and they're gonna see. It's gonna be good to see how they try to change things up. Hopefully, for these fights. The diva, I'm not happy to see, but I hope they're gonna learn quickly that with Zoom being so aggressive, the diva is just not working out.
Yeah, we'll have to see how they respond here, and that's going to be a real question for Static. Or you can immediately see Diva taking so much damage, dropping down low, on the Surgeon, just pumping out the damage. We'll even rotate around, but really surplus to requirements here is the Surgeon, as Zoom and the rest of the front line clean up Static.
Very quickly indeed as well, yeah. It is a tough matchup. I mean, I would hope probably they would swap to more of a poke, or something that they can, use a bit of range, because as you can see, their brawl Zoom is very quick on the diva every single time, punishing when she gets too close. So we're hoping to see a bit of distance, hopefully. Maybe that'll work a bit of poking them out. Maybe more flanking as well. It's getting forced out.
That brain. Going over the wall there, getting punished out, taken down the one king, finding that with the laser beam, and now they're getting so aggressive here. This is exactly where Zoom wants to operate here. Nowhere to run for the red team here, as Zoom and the rest of the Inglorious Blasters clean up Static once again.
Yeah, this is rough. I mean, I've seen teams dominate before, and sometimes what happens when it's this much of a domination, the team start to pick a bit of funny picks or a bit of funny things, and I'm hoping to see a bit of that from IB, because obviously they are the more superior team here, and it would be fun to see them having a bit of fun and maybe making it easier, but the shatters are just too strong here.
Yikes. This is Zoom really getting to flex his muscles here on the Reinhardt. This is a dream game for a Reinhardt. You can just kind of use that big hammer to sweep the opposing team aside and really dominate. But like you say, I'm hoping to see creativity out of these teams. Static, obviously, they've got to change stuff up, try and find something, some chink in the armor, somewhere where they can stick the dagger and twist the knife. But there's so little room to work with here with how Zoom and the rest of IB are playing.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, how aggressive Zoom is the whole time, it's especially making it hard for them to really know what is going on. they're not sure when the shatters are gonna come in. They're not sure when they're gonna be aggressive because they're aggressive the whole time. So
Yeah.
that keeps them at bay, and they're very cautious. But it just does not help. I think they need to change up their comp, and the map again, goes to Ivy.
Yeah, that is going to be a pretty swift 2-0 victory here
That's
on
who
Legion
the
Tower.
play of the game is here. If it wasn't the 6 shatters of Zoom,
Who would have thought? Who could have guessed?
you could have guessed. I mean, it's gotta be one of the 20 shatters.
Oh, okay, it was the most recent one. We saw this live, literal action replay. So, look, if you're Hydro, you're in Static's comms. You're there, not literally, but let's hypothetically, you're in the comms now. What are you saying to the boys and girls?
I mean, it is a tough matchup. I think they need to. The one thing they aren't doing is they aren't moving first, which is what IB is taking initiative of. They're moving first and driving the fight the way they want it to go. And especially since IB is so aggressive, I would choose a more laid back pick. And even if you're not, able to, kill them immediately or really get picks, you're at least surviving, getting that distance in between you and the Ryan that's fueled up on G Fuel probably and has shatter ready to swing. So you probably want to, just take some distance, and that would be my best pick. But again, it is a very difficult team to play against because if obviously IB sees that things aren't going their way, they're probably going to swap to probably the dive, and that's probably, I think, the worst option you have.
Yeah. I think Static are getting away lightly here, actually. I don't know the pain that they're in for if Zooms decides to really turn it on.
I think they're getting the civilized IB, experience here, and when it swaps to dive, that's when the things are gonna get a bit out of hand, and it's not a bit harder, but much harder for Static. So it's really a tough one, and it's not too easy to really know what to do in this situation. It is experience versus less experience, and that's you get some teams that are better and some teams that are worse, and that's what you're gonna see here.
Yeah, the way I like to put it is bigger, faster, stronger. There's really not much more to it than that. They aim better. They've been playing the game for longer, and they've had more experience at this level of competition. So, no shame in Static struggling a little bit here. But what we do see is that we've got an option now for Inglorious Blasters to mix things up, not only in terms of their composition, as we mentioned, but also now in terms of their players. But if you see the players who are coming in here, you might not be so familiar, Hydro, but some of the names that are not in the game at the moment, who still could come in, you'd be shocked to hear who didn't make the cut, so to speak. So we do have Condi coming in for the next game, and that is... Again, Condi is a very, very, very high level player. Grandmaster many times, as far as I understand. He's a stellar DPS. He started on DPS, then moved over to the tank role, so very flexible as well. It does not get easier when you're going up against IB, win or lose. So we'll have to wait and see what IB show us and what Static can do in response.
I mean, strong attracts strong, and I have no doubt that IB, even if they didn't have their main lineup, they would have subs that are, if not just as strong, just a little bit as strong. They're definitely have those people on hand. And as IB is playing so far, I've seen that they don't care. They're finishing up this game. They want to win Static. They want to get it over with. They don't want to play around. They just want to get this match done, dusted, and that's what we're seeing with the plays here. They're not taking anything from Static.
Yeah,
no chance.
So we do have our hero bans here. I love the Winston ban. That is something we were calling for. They didn't ban it. It didn't end up mattering.
Yeah,
but I think if you're Zwoom on Route 66, you're probably like, yes, let me do the Winston. Let me really dominate here. IB, they banned the soldier, so kind of, again, it's interesting to me to see what IB choose to ban in what is essentially a neutral situation. They have no information on this team. The first map didn't tell them a great deal about what they need to be worried about, if anything. So they just feel like, take the soldier off the table, and we are totally fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they know this is getting streamed, and I maybe for opponents, they're trying to
Yeah,
play man
true,
games
true.
because they are obviously aware that they are a much better team here in
Mhm.
this situation. I mean, they've cleaned up these past two maps very quickly, and they're probably there could be a chance, that they're trying to throw picks out that other people might think, oh, if we pick this, they don't like that, and it might be a little bit of band play here. You've seen it a lot in a lot of other games as well.
Mhm.
But it might be that they just don't want that soldier. That could always be. I've
Yeah,
seen some
true.
pros struggle against some heroes for absolutely no reason other than that hero being that hero, and
Yeah,
it's surprising sometimes. I think it's just a brain thing. So it's gonna be interesting. I didn't see them play soldier much static. I don't think they played soldier at
I don't think they
all.
did. Yeah.
So I don't know how this will affect them, but I doubt it'll affect them too much. Not
But
more than it already has. I mean, they
yeah,
they, they have it pretty rough. Let's be honest here. They're not. It's not gonna get. It can't get harder than this. Let's be honest here.
yeah. I don't think
So
there's one hero that's the linchpin of their whole setup here. That they're like, oh
yeah,
god, everything's wrong now that we can't do that. Right?
yeah.
And do you see now what we're doing? We've got Condi in for Atsu, and so Condi will be playing the support role here. As I said, he was a DPS in the past, so I'm expecting him to contribute greatly on the Baptiste. Static. How do you feel about the Orisa as a frontline tanker here?
I think it might be good for them. It lasts definitely longer than the Diva, that's for sure. We're hoping to see that that they last longer. That's what I said. What I would hope for them, just to last longer, so they have more time to think. They are playing slower. They're not making decisions fast enough, and hopefully this allows them to see those opportunities, those mistakes, quicker. But this is we do have the Zen as well, you know,
Yeah.
but it looks like they're getting poked off. Ooh, um,
It is
Storm
a
seems
very pokey composition here for
very,
Static,
very
so
pokey.
there's a good chance they can pick up a couple of picks here with a few good well-placed shots. But yeah, on Diablo, on the Hanzo, you know a thing or two about the Hanzo Hydra
Yeah,
and how dominant that hero can be. And Storm will go down here, and all blue in the kill feed. Danimation's the last man to drop here, and that is going to be it here for Static's first push.
I mean, if I can hit shots without aiming on 200 ping, I'm pretty sure on Diablo, as skilled as he is going to do a
Yeah.
lot more damage than I would possibly think of. And that's what we're seeing here with the Hanzo. I mean, they have the Hanzo to poke out. They have the Sig to help with the poke, and then they have the Genji for the cleanup and the flank check. And that's really good comp. And it's just a comp again that they're playing just to be safe. And yet they are dominating. There's not much we can say about that. We do see a bit of push coming in from Static, but a lot of pressure definitely from
Oh,
Ellie coming
Stormy
in.
needs to be careful there. The Mercy, very critical hero in any composition. You can take her out. You remove two heroes almost with the removal of the
Dragon
rest.
comes out.
Here comes the Dragon. Not going to find anything, but a lot of damage going down. Also trying to back up here. We haven't spoken about the One King on his favorite hero. Banned out last game. Now gets to flex his muscle here on the one Shimada Bro. Shimada Bros for both DPS. And it's serving IB pretty well here, as we'd expect.
And it's quite funny to see the Genji hard focus the Orisa and just spam her down. I mean,
Yeah.
he doesn't really carry it. There's not much else he really wants to do right now. And I mean, he killed her. She couldn't resist, out heal the damage. And I mean, Orisa is lasting a bit longer than the Diva, I would say, though. It is
Yeah,
so far better than previous encounters. They're lasting much longer. We're just hoping to see a few picks, hopefully, from their side. From
Yeah,
Static's side.
I wonder how much of that is Hydra, the lack of Reinhardt, because it means Zoom can't operate. It's just a big can opener where you can go in, start swinging, and secure kills in tempo. This is a pretty good fight here. Condi having to throw down the immortality field. Will keep him alive. They've got the ultimate now, a lot of damage, and they do get the kill onto Diablo. No mercy here for IB, so that kill will not be resurrected. And now they can look to move forward here on the start of Static, but they're fighting now into a tree and into a Dragon Blade. Oh, it doesn't quite get around the corner there. It goes to Panda, and now that's going to allow the One King just to move forward and try and clean up. Won't find any more kills with the Blade, but he's got the shurikens to secure the kill onto Stormy's Lifeweaver, and now he can move forward with the rest of the squad and just get this last kill on the castle. Up, Zoom's hit an invisible wall there that he is not going past. Oh, and the team will bring him right back into position.
I mean, I've noticed here that they are playing as they would play against a team that was their rating, that's as good as they
Yeah,
are.
yeah.
IB is really like sticking to their tactics, sticking to the way they have to play, sticking to, what the one king has to do, checking flanks, not overextending, and stuff like that. Even though they might as well, go sit at the spawn doors, and as far as this match is going. But they're sticking to their roots, which is very interesting to see, especially since they're playing against a team that's much, lower rated as they are. So I'm very interested to see what they're, gonna cook out when they're playing against some more hardcore teams.
Yeah, they're respecting their opponents here. Zoom trying to do a rock jump there, as it were, not working out for him here. He's got the ultimate on the signal. He's going to charge some shields up and probably use his ultimate to try and take the fight, but no, Shield Light comes out. He does go down. G-Max Yoda finds that kill onto the tank, so this might be exactly what Static needed. We've talked about finding a chink in the armor, and with Zoom going down, they might be able to now twist the knife.
Ooh, Untiablo looking for those picks. They are sitting just waiting. I mean, they have a lot of punishment ready. I mean, I can assume that dragon is going to come out any second now. They have a lot of vision.
I think this is exactly what you're talking about, how they're just waiting for Zoom to come back, not overextending, not playing beyond what they can do, and there Zoom's back and he's immediately exerting himself on the team fight. Last man standing here is Orisa, pushing the car just a little bit further, but not far enough to get that first point. So at the end of it all, at the end of round one, IB too strong on the defense.
Yeah, I mean, what you saw there was that IB had a defense line, and they would push the enemies past the defense line, but they wouldn't overextend past. And that's a really good way to play. Obviously, that's what you want. You want to hold that line at any cost. And when their tank fell, they regrouped, and then when Zoom was back, they just pedal to the metal, and they just full fronted it back to that line that they were. That they set it up before the match started, and that's how they just pushed back Static very far. But it's very interesting to see what Static's now going to cook up on defense. They are familiar with what they can play. Zoom on the Doom, so we do have Dive coming in still, and I know Zoom is, regardless of what tank he plays, he's very above average, so it's gonna punish them still, and I think it's gonna be very interesting to see how the Orisa pairs against the Doom. It's gonna hopefully they are able to do a lot for their team by keeping the Doom at bay.
The problem is the Doom will just kind of ignore Orisa and kill everybody else. That's kind of the big fear against a top level Doomfist player, which is exactly what Zoom is. Condi on the Ilaria as well, he's just going to look to go into business for himself here, get some kill, get some damage.
We're getting a Doom jump here, yeah.
Oh, hello, right onto the front line, a lot of damage immediately getting put through Zoom. Having to go defensive, we'll move forward now, just pressuring the front line here. Not really how I feel like you want to play Doomfist, but they're happy just to put the pressure on the opposing front line here. You can really see Orisa dropping quite low, will get healed up, but Zoom not taking much damage at all, and now will jump relatively deep, comes back in and out. Very comfortable play here from Zoom, and there we go. First pick comes out, the Bat Brain goes down. Omti finding that kill is the One King. Just setting up on the high ground here, immediately follows up. Big shot from Omti onto G-Max, takes him down. Zoom says, I've had enough of this team fight. I'll leave it up to you guys. There you go. That's what the bottom of the map looks like. I'm about to see what the bottom of Orisa looks like as she's taken down by Condi. IB too strong on the attack as they were on the defense.
I mean, Zoom was like, yo, this fight is cool, guys. You want to see this, though? And decided to show us the bottom of the map. And I think this push is going, probably till the end. And, it was a good fight from Static. But, I mean, what can you do against one of the best teams? It is simply just a very hard game. It's a very hard game, and hopefully they do learn. Though when I've played against teams like these, they show me stuff that I've never thought about. I mean, when you see it on a video, it's something, but when you experience what it does in games, it's a whole different experience.
Yeah, I hope that they're not disheartened by this performance, because, like I said, as far as Static is concerned, it really doesn't get worse than this. In terms of your initiation into competitive Overwatch. It only gets better from here. IB is, if not the best, then the second best team in the country at the moment. So there's no shame in losing to this team. There's no shame in getting dominated by this team. Every kill you get is is worth a lot against this particular squad of players, given their strength. So hopefully Static will, as you say, learn from this experience, or at the very least, just take it in their stride.
I mean, I think the fact that they were able to push the card at all there, I mean, they pushed it almost to the next checkpoint.
Yeah.
And even though IB pulled back, they pulled back for a reason. They were scared. Their tank died. They were scared, they might die and they would lose the whole point. And that already shows you that they had influence, and they, as I stated the previous matches, the previous maps, IB was in control of every fight they were doing. They were in control of how it was flowing and in control about who was dying and when they were dying. And there was an example of Static taking the fight into their favor and taking the fight their way. And by killing the tank, they made IB, they made it harder for IB to know which way the fight was going to go. And so they had to fall back and, get ready for what might be, a push further in, or they had to, regroup, obviously, with their tank. Losing their tank is a big deal in Overwatch.
Yeah, it's probably the most important hero in any particular team. Now, I mentioned earlier how this team has depth, Inglourious Blasters, I mean. Every player you take out is replaced by a player that is as scary, if not more scary.
Yeah.
So we've got the one king stepping out here, and who replaces him but none other than Sterling. So it does not get any easier here if you're Static, because Sterling is an absolute monster hit scan player. And he's not too shabby on a lot of the projectile heroes as well, but he loves his soldier. He's a scary Widowmaker. He's a scary Tracer. Slightly less scary than on Diablo by my reckoning, but scary nonetheless. And that means that you are about to be in a world of hurt here. More so perhaps even than you were before when Sterling comes into the mix.
I mean, we said it can't get worse, but I don't think Static has played against, too much hit scan problem. And when you see, as I've heard, when you see Sterling in the opposite team, that's the definition of a hit scan problem for you.
Yeah, exactly.
That is when walls in the game become your absolute best friend. I mean, your best bud at your wedding, that is that wall right next to you when you see Sterling swing the corner. And I've not seen this man play, but I've heard their aim is really, really, really good. And obviously, you do not want to play against a hit scan that hits shots, because that's the whole point. So it's going to be...
And the thing is, that wall is your best friend until you become one with that wall, courtesy of a Doomfist punch. So it comes at you from all angles here if you're the opponents of IB, because there are 5 game winners on this team, and that's what makes them absolutely terrifying. Because you think you can deal with Auntie, you've got Sterling on the other side. You think you can deal with Sterling, you've got Zwoon on the other side. You think you can deal with him, you've got Apricornicus shooting in from the backline, Atsu as well. So yeah, it is terrifying to play against this team, and even more terrifying as we go into Colosseo here. When we consider what you were talking about, Hydro, this team looks so disciplined. I think that's a word we haven't used, but that's a word that comes to mind. You spoke about their defensive lines that they do not cross. That is discipline. You spoke about how when Zwoon drops, they back up to a line, they hide in a corner, and they wait for Zwoon to come back, and they win that team fight. They give any space they need to ensure they're winning team fights, and that is what, to me, makes this team so scary when compared to some of the other top teams in the country.
Yeah, no, they're very, very good at what they do, obviously. When it comes to IB, and it's going to be very fun to see how they play here, especially since we have a more dominant hit scan that's coming in. I'm excited to see how that works. To be fair, you talked about the Doomfist being a problem when you hide behind a wall. I would much rather get punched off the map by a Doom than not see the day of light when I run out of a room, by headshot by Widowmaker. So it is depends on which way you choose to die here, but regardless, I think it's ultimately your future is set in stone at this point. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens.
Sure. And this Colosseo is a map, or push is a map type you can kind of express yourself on, because you can win this. You can straight push through. When you're defending first on a hybrid map, there's not much room for domination there. They push a certain distance or they don't, it doesn't look as dominant. But when you just push non-stop through, there's something that feels like you got absolutely hammered way more than it does on hybrid. I don't know if you agree with me. We do have our bans coming through here, I believe. So Static have chosen to ban the Soldier here this time, and IB going to ban the Diva. So just nail in the coffin here as far as IB are concerned. Just make sure Static doesn't get their favorite hero.
I mean, Static, I know the Soldier ban. I saw, obviously the audience can't see it, but I saw a bit of, back and forth in the chat of whether they can ban Soldier or not. And, as the rules, you can not ban a character that your team has banned previously, but the other team can ban the same character. And so it is very interesting to see how Static contested banning Soldier and Sterling not, wanting to ban Soldier, but ultimately Sterling, went with it, obviously, and he said they can have Widow then. So I think Sterling is not holding back for this one. I think he's pretty upset that he couldn't play. Yeah.
That's the kind of Sterling is like that. He no matter where he is, no matter the situation, he wants to show his skill. He wants to dominate, and I think he's really liking the Soldier at the moment. So he wants to play the Soldier. So he'll be sad to see it banned, as you say. But we've mentioned it already. It's a Pyrrhic victory for Static.
I mean, they've not had really a hit scan problem, so this is just ensuring that it's not, too overwhelming. But I think still with the Widow on the loose, it's scary. Yeah. No, it's definitely scary. I think they're gonna. I mean, to be fair, Soldier is, in my opinion, a very fun character to play, even if you don't play him well. So I think it might just be Sterling wanting a fun, nice game. Widow feels more tryhard for me, so maybe it's the same for Sterling.
Soldier certainly, if you're not super on, is a hero you're gonna get a ton of value with. No matter how wild you feel like you're playing on a day, you got to be in the mood for Widowmaker. You got to be sharp in a way you don't have to be for a lot of other heroes. So we'll have to see what Aquatic brings to the table. Like I said, we fixate on the hit scan, but he is a very competent Pharah player as well. So it would surprise me to see that, but it also wouldn't surprise me to see Sterling flex. But Sterling has said, nope, I'm the guy who clicks heads.
The Widow? Yeah, he's bringing it out.
Click heads.
He's bringing it out. And I mean, Widow is that type of character that's not, like Soldier is a very, I would say low risk, low reward-ish. Obviously you can get a lot of reward, but unlike Widow, one clicks people's faces off.
Yeah.
And obviously you have the very long cooldown on her only movement ability, and also it's not easy to take out people that flank you. So it is a high reward, high risk more character that I feel like than it is a Soldier. Immediate pick obviously on Diablo, playing on the very interesting sim. He's probably just trying to have fun, but they do have the TP that's going to come in very clutch.
Oh my god,
Sterling just doesn't care anymore. He said they're gonna have it, and they're getting it. He is in their backline. I mean, does get taken out by he got a bit too cocky there. Does get spammed out by the rat. So, things can still go Static's way here, but it is gonna be very hard. That is for sure.
Yeah, you can see where Ivy is holding, right? They're kind of like, whatever. As long as somebody's moving the cart, it doesn't matter. We're gonna hold hyper aggressive, gonna get charged on Wound Zarya and just burn people down. And once this man here, right here, Sterling comes back, you can start to click heads as well. So they're playing this quite aggressively here on the front line.
Yeah, definitely. I think Sterling's also a bit more energized now that he's been taken out by a Junkrat. I know Widow players love that, getting picked out by a Junkrat spam, but we'll
kind
see
of
how
both ends of the skill spectrum, right?
Junkrat's
kind of considered a very low skill hero versus Widow, which is a very high skill.
Yeah, a more high skill entry. I mean, I've seen Junkrats that they are mathematical geniuses. I mean, the way they know exactly where your body is gonna be. They just take you out. I mean, but Sterling, obviously, even though Widow has a high skill,
oh my god,
ceiling to start off with, it's still a character you can go very high with, and Sterling showing us why.
What's he doing,
But
bro?
he's very aggressive. I
He's
think
like has no consideration of where his team is or where the enemy is. He's just like, see head, click head, and that's my whole game plan right now.
I think he's just very, obviously annoyed about the soldier, and I think he's just doing what he wants.
Yeah.
I mean, like, unlike the the discipline we're seeing from the other teams, he really wants to just wreak havoc in the backline. I mean, as you see, he's the whole time he's in the backline, and he's probably just when it takes them out from spawn.
Yeah, I mean, that, like I said, that's the kind of player he is. He wants to dominate. If you give him a chance to dominate, he wants to dominate. And speaking of dominate, Zoom has quietly been doing a ton of damage on the front line here on this Zarya, just blowing up tons of charge. Has not died once yet, as far as I can tell. And that's going to allow him to push through in spite of the Tree of Life coming out. So Static, that's the thing about push. It can be a really short game mode when the team is dominating.
I mean, when you have someone like Zoom on their front line, you have someone like Apricornus and Atsu in your back line, it's really hard to not feel comfortable to push up with a Widow.
Yeah.
It's your team's got it. They have your back, and you know that even if you die, even if another one of them dies, they still probably got this. And as you can see, a big nano coming out.
Yeah.
And a lot of damage from Zoom. He's recharged and he's blowing it out. But I mean, they are getting pushed out a little bit. Sterling does have a very good angle now, though. He's looking for that grapple shot, probably.
Yeah, here it comes. Does he find the shot? He hits the shot, doesn't get the kill. Now it's going to be under pressure. Auntie, though, has found a kill. Both falls down. That means the other players are quick to follow. So once again, Glorious Blasters, yes, they get pushed back, but very much a case of bending, but not breaking as far as IB are concerned.
They're really good at falling back and giving that false sense of hope to the enemy team that, oh, guys, we're winning. And then when they turn around, that's when you know you've made a mistake and you know that it's about to be a very bad day for you.
There's a lot of poke damage coming through. I'm not even sure from who. I think it's just Room lobbing in grenades. There's a Junkrat around the corner there. Not long for this world, I suspect.
Some ult is almost up on Diablo. Probably going to wall here because, I mean, not much else you can use it for.
Yeah, there comes the wall. Separates the supports from look at all you have the wall just to close in. Charge to play on Symmetra, just pumping in the damage. Really, they're dropping low. Somebody kill him. He's not dead. He's still not dead. What's happening here is the backblade pumps in the damage from close range on the Junkrat. They've got the Tree of Life, keeping them alive. Is he trapped? I'm not sure. He couldn't move, got taken down in the end. As we now see Sterling. Is he playing Tracer? Is he playing Widowmaker? Who's to say here? But he's getting the kills alongside his tanks. Room on the front line.
Already, I have no doubt.
Ulti coming through. There is a nano available. As you said, it's probably going to go on Zoom. Not even needed. Oh, there we go. And just a little bit of surplus damage there as they walk it on through. Is there anybody going to be able to touch it? It doesn't seem like it. No, there isn't. And Glorious Blasters once again a total domination.
I mean, very hard to beat. Let's be honest here.
Absolutely.
I think, in my opinion, there is gonna be this isn't gonna be the only team that this is gonna happen to. I feel like there's gonna be another team, maybe two, that are gonna have quite the slapping from the IBs, the Inglorious Femboys, as they are now known as. I mean, I feel like, I hope this name goes a long way. I mean, they did it as a joke. I am hoping that they, even when they don't want it to be their name anymore, I hope it sticks. I hope it sticks. It's gonna be a fun name to play around with.
Yeah, well, we know we're going to be seeing a lot of it, that's for sure. We're expecting them to make a very deep run in this tournament. But credit where it's due once again to Static. Just to reiterate, Static, if you watch this back, this was the expected result. This, as Hydra just said, we expect this to happen to a lot of teams. There's no shame in being dominated by one of the best teams in the country. And you will not be the only ones.
Being able to play against them is kind of a honor in a sense, because I mean, seeing a good team play is different than experiencing it. And even if you are on the brutal side, them doing things, them showing you exactly how it feels and how quick they can end your change the game for your mistakes you make is a really good game changer in the way sometimes how you play the game, and it could influence them for the better. And that's what I'm hoping to see. I mean, Static is still not playing bad at all, in my opinion. They played really well, and the fact that they were able to get picks first of all, and mentally, I feel like there are a ton. I mean, if not like a lot of teams that would probably leave when they play against people like this. I've seen tournaments, I've seen people getting dominated like this, and most of those teams, they leave the second game halfway when they see that the dominating is just too much. And I give props to Static for sticking it out for this long. I mean, they got dominated pretty badly, and the fact that they were able to get picks, that they were able to still play decent, still group up, stuff like that. I mean, with the lineup they were against, they did pretty good.
Absolutely. Right, before we sign off here, first of all, round of applause for production. As far as I could tell, no dropping of stream, no issues at all. So big shout out to Altruism for stepping in here at the last minute. Did a great job of observing as well, so we can be really thankful for all of that. And thanks to you guys, the viewers, for watching as well. But Hydra, before we sign off here, gotta give me a player of the match. I have an idea of who we should pick, but who do you think really stood out?
I mean, something I've taught about previous casters is to check in the entire game, not necessarily who dominated the match or played the match the strongest, but in a sense the entire team. And I feel like their fellow Junkrat player, their low and mighty Junkrat player that managed to get what's it called, Sterling a few times. I think that was a really I mean, there's nothing like taking out a very better Widow player than you with a few spams from Junkrat. So it was really fun to see the Junkrat getting pulled out and actually working. I mean, Sterling did overextend, but I feel like that was I mean, some people won't punish that, and they got punished. So in my books, that's a play of the game. But other than that, obviously Zoom a bit too dominating here. So I mean, this man he does no layoff. This guy
too easy for Zoom. It has to be said. He kind of got to do whatever he wanted there. Auntie had kind of a quiet game from what we saw. We saw him on the Symmetra towards the end there, kind of go in deep and not get punished for it. But yeah, Zoom is always kind of a standout here for IB. All right, guys. So thanks so much for tuning in. As I said, thanks to production for sorting out our various technical woes. Fingers crossed we'll have it back to normal for tomorrow, but we will be back tomorrow, guys. We've got Overwatch tomorrow and next weekend, Saturday and Sunday, again as part of Qualifier 1. And at the end of these 2 weekends, we'll know the the first 6 teams to qualify for our ELAN at ATK Arena in October. So thanks so much for joining, guys. My name has been Sun Phoenix at Sun Phoenix on Twitter, SUNPHEONYX, Hydro at Hydro Phoenix. We've got Phoenix coming out the wazoo here. Sun and water, the elemental
double
Phoenix.
Whammy, bro. Double whammy coming out. So
there's not enough of us.
Yeah. So but yeah, thank you guys for watching. It was a really fun match.
Awesome. And then obviously production. See you tomorrow. Okay, we're back. Everybody else not going on. Peach has had enough of my rambling. All right, so at Overwatch, guys, on Twitter, if you want to keep up with everything happening in Overwatch, you know where the Twitch channel is by now. The VODs will always get pushed to YouTube as well if you want to keep a track of what's been happening as well. What time is our first match tomorrow? Does anybody know? 12 p.m. will be our first match tomorrow, so you can tune in for more of the Ethereal Crown qualifiers then. And as I said, we'll see you tomorrow. We'll see you next weekend. So you got plenty of South African Overwatch to look forward to. So 12 p.m. tomorrow, guys. 12 p.m. tomorrow. We'll see you guys then.
All right.